Alright, what's going on, guys? This is just going to be a quick, well, not too quick. It's going to be a full guide on how to set up Cubitourint, Jacket, and Sonar. And it's basically just going to show you how linking applications together and stuff like that. Basically just doing the entire quick start guide like you've done here and putting it all together, except for traffic. Or Traffic. We'll be doing that in a separate video in the future because that's a little bit more advanced, so that'll require its own video. This video is already going to be pretty long as is, so let's go ahead and get right into it. As long as you've actually finished this whole guide, especially the VPN add-on, because I will not be going over how to set up VPN completely, like changing your configuration files and stuff like that. That guide is already in here, and they have a nice video showing exactly what needs to be deleted, etc. So make sure you watch that first and you get done with the basics first. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we're just going to be creating our data sets. And the way that I'm going to be doing it is just be using my speed pool. And then I like to structure it like this, so go speed into downloads and then whatever download client that it's going to be. So this is for JDownloader, obviously, NZBGet, and then Cubitourint. But for the sake of this video, we're going to be creating 2 more data sets. Just going to name that Torrent-EX for Torrent example, basically, because this is an example video. And then we'll also be creating a media example data set as well. And then this is where we're going to be outputting our files to, and then this data set would basically be where you would set up Plex to grab your media and stuff like that. And you know what, we're actually going to set up one more data set. Actually, just for the sake of this video, it's going to be anime, just because it's easiest to do. It's actually the only file type, the only media that I grab with torrents is anime, just because it's hard to find on NZBGet. So for the sake of this video, we're only going to be doing one of these, and it's going to be for anime. So let's go ahead and go to our applications now. Okay, next we're going to be installing the actual applications. So I just went to apps, and then I'm just going to type Sonar, click install, and we'll just name it Sonar-example. You'll just simply copy and paste this and name it just Sonar. I'm putting the EX because I already have an instance of Sonar running on this pool, so I can't have 2 applications name the same thing. Controller, I never mess with anything in the controller. Container configuration, again, I never mess with anything besides the time zone, but you shouldn't have to change that. It should be the time zone that your system is already on, so you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Network and services, we're just going to leave this as node port and leave everything else exactly the same. We're not going to be messing with anything here until the next video comes out, where we're actually messing around with like ingress, traffic, and stuff like that, and domain names. So yeah, but for right now, we're just going to leave this as node port, and then we're going to leave this as persistent volume claim. I'm pretty sure that's what that stands for anyway. That's what TrueCharts recommends, is to not change this. So instead of changing this, we'll simply just add additional app storage, because that's totally fine for most applications. So we'll come here, do speed, downloads, and our new torrent example data set. And then we'll just copy this last folder, delete the .ex, and then this will be our mount path. You can name this whatever you want. It's just basically what Sonar is going to be able to view. I'll show you guys what that means when we actually get into that. And then we also have to enable Sonar to see media, because this is where the files are actually going to be pushed after they're done being downloaded to this file. And then that's all we have to do with that. I don't change automatic permissions or any of this other stuff. I leave that all as default. So go ahead and click next. Ingress, again, it's for a later video. Security and permissions, I rarely ever have to deal with that. If you have to deal with that, just come to the Discord and type in support and be like, hey, I'm getting this error or whatever. But for this video, I'm going to leave everything as default. For this, I'm going to go ahead and change this to 6,000 and then this to 10. And then because changing the limit resources consumption is totally fine. Basically just means that you're putting a cap on how much resources this container can use. Never change this. Advanced request minimum resources. Never change this. Someone did in the Discord a while ago, and I think they were having some sort of issues, so just don't change this. I've never ever had to change this in any of my applications ever. Go ahead and click next, and then we don't need to set up a VPN for Sonar because it's not going out to the internet or scraping or doing any of that. The other two applications will be though, so we'll do that in those. Click next, advanced, we don't need any of that, and then submit. Okay, next we're going to be installing Jacket. Next, nothing in the controller, nothing in there, nothing in there. And then you don't need to configure any additional app storage for this application because it doesn't require it. It's not saving any files or anything like that, so it doesn't need any of that. So just leave everything as is. Next, next. Just leave that as that. And then we will be changing this though. And let me pull up my file paths. So for this, configure Killswitch excluded IPv4 networks. I put the Kubernetes subnet on there, which is just the 172.16.0.0/12, and then that's just what Kubernetes uses to assign applications, well, containers, their own IP. So obviously you need that, otherwise applications won't be able to talk to each other internally. And then you just need your local LAN network, which for me is just 192.168.0.0, and then I did a /16. Yours is most likely the same, but it may vary, so just keep that in mind. And then since this is for Jacket, I'm going to send it to this file path, and then this is where I save it. Mount speed, which is my pool, and then the VPN dataset, and then into the WireGuard dataset, and then jacket.conf. And then that's it for that. And submit. Okay, finally, we'll just be installing Cubitourint. So let's go ahead and click install on that. Copy and paste that, put EX there. Again, leaving all this the same. Here, I do have to change this. Because like I said, I already have another instance of Cubitourint running, and I tried launching this earlier with the node port exactly the same as what it was as defaults, and since I already have a Cubitourint application running, it requested that I change this, so that's what I'm doing. We'll not have to change any of this though, so we'll just go ahead and click next. And then this will require additional storage. And we'll just do it like we did the other ones. And this just needs /torrent because it just needs basically somewhere to save the files that you're downloading. This does not need the media because Sonar is the application that's actually going to be going out to where Cubitourint downloaded these files, and then it's going to copy and paste them into the media data set itself. So you don't have to worry about anything with Cubitourint file paths with that. Let's go next. Nothing there. And then this should all be default besides this, of course. Killswitch networks is going to be the exact same thing as earlier. And then I have two different configuration files for WireGuard VPNs. I have one for Cubitourint and then one for Jacket. Whether or not you actually need to, I'm not entirely sure, because having two applications trying to use the same public and private key, I'm just assuming that there's some sort of problem with that. If you can verify that there's not any sort of an issue, go ahead and leave that in the comments. I would love to know, but I'm just assuming that I need to. So you can do that, or email your VPN provider and ask them, because they would know. Okay, let's go ahead and click next, and submit. Alright, cool. Now that our three applications are up and running, we'll go ahead and configure them. We'll start with Jacket. It's the easiest one. Add indexer at the very top. Then type in the website that you would like. I do Naya because we're doing anime, and it's just pretty much the only website that you'll need if you're doing anime. And then that's it. I just tested it. It's good to go, and done with that. Next, we'll just log in to Cubitourint. Don't worry about seeing this unauthorized. Come up to the URL, highlight this, press enter. The username is admin, and the password is admin. And cool, we can log in. Good to go. Let's go to Sonar. Go down to System. Take a look at our health. It's saying that we don't have any indexers, so we'll go ahead and solve that. Indexers, add an indexer. Jacket is going to be classified as TrueNAS, so we'll go ahead and click Custom. And type the name of our indexer. If you have multiple indexers for Jacket, you'll have to type in each individual one. That's why I'm specifying which name it is. This is not like Hydra or anything like that. Okay, so next we'll need our URL. So you go back to Jacket, copy TrueNAS feed, paste that in there, and we'll have to change the IP address because right now it's trying to use my server IP, but we do not use that. So let's open up linking apps internally and type in Jacket EX, paste that there, and then copy this. This is just our internal DNS name that Kubernetes has assigned to us, or to this application anyway. And then for port, we'll simply just have to come here, click edit. I already know it's 9117, but I just want to make sure that you guys know where to find it, and it's container port. It is not node port. That's what you are using to access the web GUI. So So go ahead and copy 9117, come back here, delete this port, paste this there, and then it's asking for an API key. So we simply just come here, copy the API key from the very top, go back to Sonar, paste that in there. I like to set this up as just TV, and then anime categories, I set that up as just TV as well. You can highlight every single one of these if you want to though. Test that, and good to go. Okay, so now that we got that in there, our indexer, we'll go ahead and go to download clients, add, and since we're using Cubitourint, we're going to add a Cubitourint. And then for this, just go ahead and copy and paste that right in there. And then this, we're just going to be doing the same thing that we did with our indexer. Just put the name in there, go back to Sonar, copy and paste that in there, and then put in your username and password and test, and then see that it added successfully. So that's all you have to do for that. Click save, and then you can see no health issues with your configuration, so that is good to go. Okay, now I'll show you guys what I was talking about when I was referring to the mount points that we made in our Sonar configuration, and it just shows here. Remember, this is where our torrents are getting downloaded, and then this is where our media is going to be outputted to. That's where Sonar is going to copy and paste files from here to here, pretty much. Just like I showed you guys in this. Just go ahead and check that out. See slash torrent, and it was shown in there, and then slash media as well. And it'll go ahead and dig farther as long as you mount it to slash media. It'll find your like subdirectories and stuff like that, so you don't have to worry about mapping every single file out, otherwise that would take forever. We're just going to be setting up Cubitourint all the way, so just come here and go to options, advanced, and then you'll need to change your network interface to WG0. And what WG0 is the WireGuard interface. If you do not do this, you run into like really weird issues where torrents will download for like 30 seconds and then they'll stop, and then I don't know, it's really weird. And the way that I solve that is by just specifying exactly which interface I want Cubitourint to be using, which is WireGuard 0, and that's going to be just our VPN. If you're not using a VPN, then you can just use, I'm assuming it's just going to be ETH 0, but for WireGuard users, it's going to be WG0. If you're using OpenVPN, it's going to be something else other than these two. It's going to be the third one, whatever it is. And then for this, I do all IPv4 addresses. I do not do this one because I believe that this is dynamic. So I just specify to do all IPv4 addresses, and I don't have any issues with that. Next, we'll go to Web UI. And sorry, I'm going to my other screen every now and then to check my configs, just to make sure everything's on the same page and I'm not missing anything that I changed to get this all working. So bypass authentication for clients in whitelist IP. I put the internal Kubernetes applications addresses on there, just like we did for the Killswitch. I just put it here, so then you should only have to put the username in for Sonar. We already did the username and password, but if you set up Radar or anything like that, you should only have to put in the username when you have this active. And then I believe that's the only thing. Yeah, that's the only thing they have to change there. I don't use RSS. BitTorrent, I do enable anonymous mode, and then that just helps get rid of like fingerprinting and stuff like that. So it just makes it harder for people to know what you're doing. Say they logged your traffic or something like that. It just makes it harder for them to like figure out what exactly is going on and stuff. And then I go ahead and I change this to 10. I change this to 10 as well, just to have a bit more active uploads, so I'm actually reaching my ratios and stuff like that, and I'm not just leeching and then only taking from the community and whatnot. And then I also activate this. This is seeding limits. This is how you're gonna begin setting up, like when your torrent uploads as much as you already downloaded. So to say, if you downloaded a 1 gigabyte file and then you seeded 1 gigabyte, which means that you uploaded 1 gigabyte back to the community, it is going to pause. And then that's exactly what we wanted to do. And then I changed mine to 21,600. That is 15 days. You don't change anything else here. You just leave this unpaused. You don't set up remove torrent in its files here. We're going to be doing that on Sonar, and I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. Next, you go to speed. And I changed my upload to 120, and then I changed this to 02 to 09, and every day. And my alternates are going to be 0, 0, which just means infinite. So then, when no one is using my Plex server or anything like that, I don't have to worry about what my upload bandwidth is using, or how much upload bandwidth torrents are using. So I just max this out from 2 a.m. to 9 a.m. because no one's watching Plex at this time. There's no one watching Plex at that time. So I just do that, and then hopefully throughout the night my ratio gets hit, and then the torrents will just be deleted by Sonar. Next we'll go to connection, and I believe we do not change anything here. Never change. Well, we change this. I just take that out. Maximum number of connections per torrent. Increasing this will just help with your download speed and stuff like that. So if you're having a really bad download speed on torrent files that have more than 100 peers, then disabling this could help. And then don't mess with anything here, because we already did all the ports and stuff like that in the configuration file for Cubitourint. You do not change any of this information up here at all. Do not do that. It's a really good way to break your system. Okay, and then for this, we'll just go ahead and do /torrent, because that's our mount point. And then that doesn't work. /torrent/temp, because this is where we want our media to be saved. This is a very important step. I hope you guys did not skip this, because if Cubitourint is saving this in its within its container, Sonar does not have access to that. That's why we have to save it to /torrent, and we gave it additional storage to use. So we're just dictating where we want our torrents to be saved, and then where we want our torrent temporary files to be saved as well. So that'll be right there. And then I click on delete .torrent files afterwards. This isn't that big of a deal, but after a while that does add quite a bit of space. And then that's actually it for that. All done. Click save, and that's that. Okay, now that we got done with the Cubitourint settings, we're going to be coming back to Sonar, Settings, Media Management, Rename Episodes. I like to keep this enabled, keeps everything really nice and looking good. And then click Save Changes at the top. Then that's that for that. And we'll go down to, let me see, indexers. Enable advanced settings now, and then click on Naya, and you need to enable advanced settings to see these settings labeled in orange, and that's exactly what we're changing. So seed ratio, since we set this to 1 in Cubitourint, we're going to be changing this to 1. Seed time, I chose 15 days in minutes, so that's 1, so this 21,600 and 21,600 right there as well. And then that's it. And now Sonar will be handling those files that have paused in your Cubitourint download client. After they reach their ratio or their time, Sonar will delete them automatically. Okay, now that we got done with that, that's pretty much everything that we have to set up. I'm going to leave quality and stuff like that out of it. You guys might have to look up another video on how to set this stuff up. I usually just leave this how it is because that's how I like the settings. If you want, you can click on like upgrade allowed and then change this to Blu-ray or whatever if you really want to. It's whatever you want to do. But right now, we're going to go back up to series and add a new series. And since we're doing anime, we're going to be doing I just always use this as an example. I'm probably going to have to blur this out though. But okay, so you'll have to click on root folder, add a new path, and then come down to where you want it to be saved, which is media, anime, and then save it there. And then series type, it automatically chose that it's anime, so that's good. Sometimes animes will be like standard and stuff like that, but like 99% of the time they'll be under anime. So we'll just go ahead and add One Piece now. Okay, now since we just went to One Piece, we'll be just searching for this file. Cool, that was really quick. And sorting by peers, so we can just get the fastest download possible, pretty much. This one has 943, so that's perfect. Add to download queue, and now we'll see this pop up in Cubitourint. Okay, and here's our file. It's starting to download. If you're having any sort of an issues, you can always just right click and force re-announce. That will just announce that you're like trying to download this, like, hey everybody, I'm trying to download this, I need these files, blah blah blah. And then it'll start downloading, and we're getting a pretty decent speed. And it seems like everything's working out pretty good. After this is done downloading, I'll show you where the file is now, and then that'll be it. The video will pretty much be over. Okay, cool. So our download is done, and as you can see, ETA is 14 days and 23 hours. So that's just 1 hour shy of the 15 days I give this this file to sit here and seed before it's deleted. Either that or hits the ratio, like I mentioned earlier. And you can see it both here in Torrent example. There's the file, and then you can also see it in media, because Sonar copies the file and pastes it in media, and Remember, this is where like Plex would see the file and stuff like that, and then it renames it because we set it up to rename the files. And then that's it. If you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, or go to the TrueCharts Discord. If you have any, if you're having any like really weird issues or anything like that, you can go ahead and leave your comments there, and I'm sure someone will be able to help you out. But anyway, hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.